Warning, the following episode contains spoilers for the movie A Beautiful Mind 2003, and of course, the movie we're talking about in this episode, Fight Club 1999. Enjoy. First rule of Film Club, do not talk about Film Club.
Second rule of Film Club, do not talk about Film Club.
Third rule of Film Club, if someone says stop, goes limp, or taps out, the movie is over.
Fourth rule of Film Club, one movie at a time.
Fifth rule of Film Club, if this is your first time at Film Club, you have to watch a movie.
Sixth rule of Film Club, I'm your host, Jacob.
I'm your host, Ian.
I'm your host, Ian.
And I'm your host, Ian. All right, we got
past the opening.
We got through the intro. We didn't talk quiet. We just watched a movie. Can you guess what it is?
We can't talk about it. That's the first rule.
Podcast over.
Full
Right, we're not talking about this movie.
With your feet on the ground and your hands in the air. Like the credits just are going.
Oh, I never used the lighter sound.
Oh. It's not loud enough.
That's us lighting our cigarettes.
Well, it didn't.
Okay, anyways.
Anyway, so, yeah, just watched Film Club. Nope,
Fight Club.
the actual movie, Fight Club.
Directed by David Fincher.
Is that...
It's David Fincher. I think it's 1999.
Yeah, we've got Edward Norton as the lead, Brad Pitt as someone, and
Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden. Yeah. Well, they're both Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if you haven't seen the movie, but
that was one of the rules. You have to watch a movie.
Yeah, it has been also 20.
It should also probably be the movie we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's been 24 years since it released, so really it's
1999.
If you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing?
Not watching it.
Yeah,
it's your problem. So
exactly.
So we just watched it. It's 3 a.m. It took me like an hour to set this up.
Yeah.
It also took us an hour to pick the movie.
Yeah, that's me again.
We finished the movie an hour ago, so we've had time to
digest.
Yeah, get it.
Really sit with this.
Chew on it.
And my mother's asleep.
Not really. She's awake because we're keeping her awake.
Okay, she's trying to sleep.
But
just say it's for a school project.
Loud. Yeah, it's not.
Your mother's much more tolerant than my mother would be.
Well, she would be very bothered, but yeah. Let's just keep quiet. Anyway, so we watched the movie.
Yeah.
And
what are our initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts? You're coughing.
Dude, you took a deep drag of that cigarette, bro.
Yeah.
That we lit up.
Yeah, the cigarette that we have
with our lighters.
Yeah,
with our lighters.
We're currently set up on a dining room table. Hold on one sec. Let me move this soap. Hold on one sec.
We got the soap also because it's Fight Club. It's Film Club.
You want to go get that orange juice and gasoline?
Soap is made out of movies.
Soap is made.
Okay, so
yeah, it's 3 a.m.
All of us knew the twist going into the movie. We knew that Brad Pitt was not a real person. Yeah. He was just part of Edward Norton's.
Do you want to know how I knew that was a twist?
How?
When I was like 7, I used to binge watch WatchMojo.com. They had like they had a video like top 10 movie twists, and I think it was like number 2 or number 1. That's how I remembered it.
I remember WatchMojo. When I was young, I would watch that too.
That's how I understand pop culture references.
Haven't seen any movies. Just watched every single.
A lot of WatchMojo.
Every single WatchMojo. So my initial thoughts, it's a pretty good movie. Mm-hmm. Knew the twist going in, but I was still, there's a lot of stuff I appreciated. There were points definitely where I was like, this might be the greatest movie ever made. And I don't know why I thought that. But,
Really?
They're just like, I was like watching it and I was like, man, this movie really speaks to me.
It's because you're literally Tyler Durden.
As a suburban white boy.
You should watch, if you like that, you should watch American Psycho.
We watched
American Psycho.
Do you want to watch Joker next?
We get my buddy Eric.
Then we can watch Whiplash maybe, and
Anyways. Do you want it?
You're the film major.
I am. I thought it was pretty good. I had the same, not the exact same thoughts.
No,
I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
The dated CGI was charming.
It was so fun.
It was
I like
fun.
that.
It was
I like
really
the
cute.
penguin. The penguin was...
That was his what was it? His
That was his
Power
power,
animal.
animal.
power animal.
And
Yeah.
but then it turned into
The girl.
Yeah, it turned into the woman.
Helena something Carter. I don't want to mess up the actress's name.
No. Oh, the actress. I thought you-
Helena Bonham Carter. I don't know how to pronounce that part, but yeah. But she played Marla Singer.
Marla. That was the
Marla.
name of the
Yeah,
character.
the character.
The character,
But,
not the actor.
Anywho, the CGI. This movie came out in 1999, and you know what other movie came out in 1999?
What else?
The Matrix. And this movie actually looks similar, in my opinion. Like the color grading.
Yeah, the color
the
grading for
CGI.
sure.
Yeah.
That's what it was reminding me of. But not story wise, obviously not.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has some elements, sci-fi.
it was kind of very grimy movie.
Yeah.
Very dirty looking. I mean, granted, they were in an abandoned house the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
it was
kind of was like big theme in the movie.
yeah, just getting dirty,
Nonconformism.
getting yucky.
That's what
down
they
and
needed.
dirty.
That's why
Yeah.
they needed to make that soap.
It's a lot of yucky in this movie. They were in
Yeah.
an abandoned
Yeah.
house. It was
Maybe-
pretty yucky.
Maybe that's what the soap
Yeah.
is.
The soap.
They get clean when they're yucky, but
Yeah.
they're not. They're selling the soap.
Well, they
What was
get
the point of
the
the soap?
He made the soap.
out of people.
Wasn't the soap to make the bombs?
No, the soap was just like
Yeah.
To make soap. Well, it
to
was
sell.
both.
No, he sold the soap for a lot of money, and that's how they maintained it. Remember, because he sold it.
But then you also got
But then I
He
think they
also was
doubled
like-
up on the soap to make.
well, yeah.
Okay, it counts for a rewatch. All right, guys, we're gonna come right back. We're gonna quickly watch the movie, and then we'll come back once we're done.
Yeah.
And he was like, what, the staple of civilization when he was like talking about the soap. That probably has some symbolism. I haven't dissected
Well,
yet.
yeah, he said like it was buying people and reselling it right back to them.
Oh yeah, he was like,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
buying
Because he was using
their
the
fat
fat
asses
of the,
and then
Yeah,
selling it right back to them.
well, he
the
was
rich people.
stealing. He was stealing the fat.
Yeah.
But
is that like a Robin Hood kind of thing?
no, 'cause-
No, that's
no.
Well,
stealing
kind
from
of.
the rich to give it to no.
He's stealing the rich to give to the rich. To
Okay.
sell to the rich.
Scratch that. Anyways,
Like he's literally stealing parts of them, like because they were wealthy enough to afford the liposuction, and he like took their body back, and now that they're wealthy enough to afford the fancy soap, and they're just buying them like themselves back.
Like
That's an
recycling.
interesting concept.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. Anywho,
Yeah. It was really interesting though watching the twist because it was kind of like watching, like it was a rewatch except I didn't know.
yes.
I didn't know anything, but I did know one of the most important things. So I feel like I was able to pick up on more, as you would with a rewatch, but I mean not entirely. But there was more that I could pick up knowing that, like with that flickering, where you could see the flickers of
Oh.
Brad Pitt, like
Yeah.
it was like, and then he revealed it was the night jobs,
That. Yes.
and it was like it was doing that because it was just like. I don't know.
I thought that was really creative.
It was.
The split frames of just Brad Pitt.
Being there,
Yeah, that was really creative. That's cool.
And they gave us the penis at the end.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the end, like the very last
It
frame
flickered.
was the flicker of the penis because he worked in the cinema where he would do that with the family films.
Did I blink?
I think you blinked.
I might have
Probably.
blinked.
Yeah.
don't
Well,
remember.
anyways, what do you guys think of the narration style?
I thought it was well done with this movie.
It was effective. Was this based off of a book?
Yes.
Okay.
My
so
dad says the book is better.
that seems to be pretty.
Well, your dad's a nerd.
He is a nerd.
I'm just kidding.
That seems to be really common when adapting books.
You're gonna say when dads read books.
Yeah, I guess when old people read books.
When old people read books, they're always talking.
Yeah.
No.
Like
American
yeah, that's how
Psycho.
books are laid out.
Yeah, I know, because I assume it was also written in the first person. Because that's the same way American Psycho was. There was a lot of his internal monologue, and that can't really be conveyed.
But comparing this to American Psycho was just voiceover for the narration.
Yeah.
Whereas this, we had like Edward Norton turning to the camera.
Yeah, breaking the fourth
yeah,
wall. But
breaking
it's
the
kind
fourth
of it kind of acts the same way.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way.
In a way,
Yeah.
you could say that.
Trying to think of what else.
What else?
Oh, that opening title sequence. What was that? Was that just a cell?
A cell?
Like, remember, was
Was that at first? Was that it looked like a brain?
Yeah, like I saw neurons.
Was it? What did it come out of? Was it skin?
It came out of somebody's head, I thought.
I think I looked at my phone when it did that.
Oh, it
It
reveals.
was on their phone.
I was on my phone.
It reveals the. Oh, I wonder if that's important of anything, because that's the scene where he has the gun in his mouth. Where the other Tyler, like it, like.
Oh yeah, because when he
Yeah.
when he shoots himself, he's killing the Brad Pitt
Yeah.
version of Tyler.
And what does that mean? Like, what does that suggest?
Yeah, how did he survive?
You need to,
Did he survive, do you think?
I think it was symbolic.
Yeah.
It wasn't he wasn't literally shooting the
And he
insanity out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But he was
missed his
symbolic.
brain, but still blood everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, granted,
Got pretty bad.
yeah, because I mean, Tyler, like, not Tyler, but Brad Pitt's character had the whole back of his head blown out when he fell over.
Whereas, like, Edward Norton, it was like his neck.
Yeah.
It was only, well, he had a raspy voice and it just corrected itself.
Yeah.
Like, it was fine.
Okay, this completely a reach, but is Edward Norton taller than Brad Pitt?
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that where Edward Norton's neck would be,
It's like
would
relative.
be the back of
They're-
Brad Pitt's
their,
head.
Yeah.
their heights are relative, so if he stabs himself in the if Edward Norton was to stab himself in the chest, Brad Pitt gets it in the stomach.
Yes.
or maybe the other way
The
around.
other way
It's a
around.
little too late, but
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he pinpointed the exact part of his brain that Brad Pitt's character was located, and he shot that part out.
We
so
need to
it
watch
killed
it.
Brad Pitt
We need to watch a video
out
essay.
of him.
video essay.
This is the video essay.
When I watched the opening scene though, I immediately thought it was a brain, because this is
Yeah,
a psychological thing, the seeing the
Maybe that's like
hallucinations.
that's Brad Pitt marinating in his brain, like the creation of it. That's like that's the
maybe, but
what
it
happened
cuts.
right
It's
before.
The opening sequence starts with inside Edward Norton's body, and it comes out onto the gun when it's in his mouth.
Right.
When Brad Pitt has it in his mouth.
yeah, but it's really him holding it. To his
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Is this a frame story or is this?
Is it it's an unreliable narrator.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah.
Definitely, but then it splits. Once the reveal happens, now it's
Yeah.
it-
Well, you'd get some sense of
Yeah.
objectivity.
It's kind of a frame
They'd
story.
use these
Yeah.
security cameras to do that,
yes,
right?
Yep.
Could you compare it to Frankenstein in that sense? Because it's a frame story and the story ends at the.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know. I don't think it could. I'm trying to figure out as to why.
I don't remember exactly the qualifications for what a frame story is.
It was a
just
loose
look it up.
kind of frame story.
Yeah.
Like it gave us very little at the beginning, though.
Yeah. But was Frankenstein also an unreliable narrator, or was that a different book we read?
I don't think Frankenstein.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Kafka.
No, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be it
no.
wouldn't be a frame story. A frame story is a literary technique that serves as a companion piece to a story within a story. So I don't think so. That's where if
No.
you have like
What's the term for where it's like you're at the end of the story and then it cuts back to the
a
beginning?
flashback.
That's a frame story.
Is it?
That's what I
Oh,
thought a
I
frame
guess
story
it could be because
That's what a frame
yeah,
story
yeah, I
is.
guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're setting up a story to get back to.
So
the
it
point
was
where-
kind of a frame story, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
How do they use that?
Write a 250-word response and respond to 2 other students. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I mean, it set up. It was like, oh, he's got a gun in his mouth. I wonder how this is gonna go down.
Yeah, and it also you can't tell who
Some
has the
frame
gun in his
stories.
mouth.
Yeah,
It
no, they
doesn't-
do that on purpose.
Yeah.
And then there's the juxtaposition of this like absolutely insane thing. He's tied at the top of a building with a gun in his mouth, and then it cuts to his boring office
Yeah.
life.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like this life's about to get much more interesting.
mhm.
Just you wait till the end of the movie
The call
Yeah.
for action.
when we figure out why he's at the top of this building
Yeah.
with a gun in his mouth.
Is this a hero's journey?
no.
How
I
do-
mean, I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't have a definition for hero's journey. But you say that this guy is not a hero.
No.
No.
Well, in his mind, a part of him thinks it is because he's freeing people. Do you think that's justifiable? Like the concept of like destroying like what man has created to free itself, like blowing
This
up.
is gonna get into like the themes. I feel like
Yeah.
it's kind of an anti-capitalist, more anarchist
Oh, of course.
thing,
Yeah.
and
The
that's the
dangers-
message. It's also got like philosophically Buddhist messages, just the way Tyler Durden was with
Like the pain.
you're the what did he say? We're the everlasting singing, dancing crap
Crap
of the world. Yeah. Just like you are just a little piece of that.
You're saying that's Buddhist?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Interesting.
That's
Sorry.
I don't know
very
much.
similar to Alan Watts's, the 20th century philosopher's, like, whole thing on you are like the universe experiencing itself.
Yeah.
You're not your job. You're not your job. You're not like your possessions or your wealth. You're just
khakis.
like you're not your khakis. You're just like a little thing.
Yeah.
Like a vessel for just doing things.
Yeah.
Experiencing things.
Materialism and
I
stuff.
think what's interesting, I don't think that statement contradicts itself, but in the film you have the part where Brad Pitt holds that man, like, puts a gun to his head and says, you're going to go back to school and you're going to go get back that life.
Yeah.
But that life is literally, isn't that just materialistic of itself?
Being a veterinarian? Not really.
Well, he was like, he gave up on that because like it was too hard and he needed money.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
And like
yeah.
the veterinarian thing is more like a passion that he had.
And he went to
He
went to work
wanted
at a convenience store,
That's
which
right.
is really just
Setting
perfect.
aside your dreams to make ends meet.
but the existence too of a convenience store is such a perfect embodiment of capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so awesome.
I love it. Guys, you want to hit up a convenience store after this?
Dude, convenience stores are they're so
They're cool.
They're so awesome.
they're
great.
they're convenient.
They're really
You're gonna-
convenient.
I thought you were going to say they're so camp. I'm like, it's a convenience store.
Set up a camp. I had another. One of the first things that interested me is when he was because I never really like it when I see characters shitting in a movie, and when he was ordering the IKEA furniture while he was shitting at the same time, and then that goes directly into the monologue about all of the furniture that he has purchased and how that's making up his whole life.
Yeah.
So, not to read into things too deeply, but I mean it seems kind of
Like at the beginning, before all this, that's the only thing we get about his life and personality other than his job, is that he likes the furniture from IKEA.
yeah.
And like that's his only hobby really.
Yeah.
Until he meets Tyler Durden.
His character is literally built out of the things he owns and buys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have the same suitcase.
Yeah.
I mean, that was also a dead give. Like, I mean, I was watching it with the eyes of like, okay, Brad Pitt is imaginary. We have the same.
Yeah.
We have the same suitcase.
Yeah.
It's like
It's definitely, now that you have the whole story put together, rewatching the film, you're gonna definitely be able to catch a lot of the smaller things. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, so like the scene you're talking about, the same suitcase, when he's like at the airport and then he turns around and he sees Tyler get in some guy's car and drive off. That never happened.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out what those parts were real and what weren't. I think the house was really real.
The house was. It was an abandoned house. I mean,
Yeah, he
that's,
probably just found an abandoned house and lived there.
that to me seems like a dead giveaway that it's an imaginary character. They're
Yeah.
following him to an abandoned house. It's just like like if no one actually lives there, it's a
That's
perfect
like-
place.
In A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, it's exactly. No, it's exactly like
It's-
a
no,
beautiful
it is
mind.
really like that.
Because
Like-
there's this scene where the
he-
mathematician
he
goes
has
into
to-
the shed, the empty shed, and thinks it's a whole government
Yeah.
setup.
Except this is. I mean,
For context,
we've
all seen the movie A Beautiful Mind,
and we were talking about it earlier.
and I'm
today.
not a big fan of that movie.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars, but I
gave
mean,
it 2.
I watched it in a couple separate sittings, and we were watching it for psychology class and psychology class.
I watched it for my own convenience or
Enjoyment.
my own enjoyment, and I was not.
But I mean, would you say that they did the whole schizophrenia or imaginary friend thing better, or is it used for a better purpose?
Well, that's a good like debate piece. I
think this movie was a better movie.
agreed, but
Agreed.
also A Beautiful Mind's like based off a true story.
Yeah.
So, do you want to argue what was better, fact or fiction? A man's life or somebody else's?
It was used very similarly.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
Well,
Do you think the mathematician had other guys?
no, not
beating
really.
each other?
It was like because
I mean,
the other characters didn't really in The Beautiful Mind. The characters like were just kind of there and causing him to do weird things. But in this one, it was like him,
Yeah.
just like a different piece of him that he didn't realize was there.
I mean, you could say that every part of a movie is just a vessel for delivering the themes and messages, and this is used to do that much more than it is in A Beautiful Mind, because A Beautiful Mind is just something that happens, and the story there is that he can overcome it and without being medicated if he's just aware of it. And in this one, once he's confronted with the reality, what does he do?
He kills it off.
He tries to rectify it, and he does actually kill it off instead of what happens in A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, that's right. Because in A Beautiful Mind, he just not comes to terms with it, but
he
ignores it.
Yeah. What he does is he gets medicated, and then that makes him really docile, and he can't do math or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes off the medication, and he just has to keep reminding himself, those people aren't real.
So on today's episode, Jacob and Ian convinced me that A Beautiful Mind is a good movie and not just Oscar bait.
Well, I mean, it definitely is Oscar bait.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Fight Club is Oscar bait?
I don't know. I wasn't alive.
1999. What? Let me look.
I think it flopped in the box office.
Which one? Fight Club?
Fight Club, yeah.
Let me look that up, and then I'm gonna see what
is
movie.
Is it a cult classic? Or is it just
it's a cult classic now, but it didn't do well initially, I guess.
No, I think the definition...
It made $101 million in Box Club.
And I'm gonna I'm gonna assume that its budget was lower than that, considering
its budget was 63 to 65. So it is a flop. It didn't make double its money.
Yeah, but it didn't do that bad. It wouldn't be a cult classic because I think that critically gets panned, but then the fan base eventually kind of rebuilds.
Yeah.
My only real like conceptualization of a cult classic is The Big Lebowski, which I haven't seen, but Ian, you said
what does it mean to
watched
be a cult classic?
It's a movie when it originally came out didn't perform well, like critically or like financially, but then over time more people found it and then it gained its own cult.
So you would say it is?
This one isn't. I don't think. But like I don't
1999.
know. I don't know.
It might be too. Okay. The best picture of 1999 was the page reloaded was Shakespeare in Love.
Never heard of that.
And then I'm just going to check 2000 if it was like... The next year was American Beauty. And I don't like that movie.
I haven't seen it.
That we should definitely have an episode on American Beauty.
Yeah.
We should do a double feature, American Beauty, American Psycho.
I would do that.
And then American History X where Edward Norton plays a Nazi in L.A.
In today's episode, we talk about America and all of the movies.
The 4th of July special.
4th of July special. We watched all of the movies with America in their title.
So going back to 1889, we have this 2-minute short film, Silent.
Wait, which one's that one? I don't care. I am starting to get sleepy now that I think about it.
Let's think of, is there any more important aspects of Fight Club we want to speak about before we wrap this up?
I mean, we've gone over what? We've gone over the themes, talking about sort of the anti-capitalist, the anarchism. I mean, the acting was good, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty consistently.
I loved Edward Norton in this.
That was really good. All of them.
Brad Pitt did the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. This was kind of pointed out in the movie. Like, it's kind of obvious to talk about this, but I was thinking about how, like, before the reveal and everything, I was thinking about how this is a fake character, and I was looking at Brad Pitt, and I was like, he was kind of the epitome of beauty, of male beauty in that time frame, right? And it was thinking he was creating this perfect version of himself. Of course, they'd cast Brad Pitt for this.
Like, that's the right role for that.
Yeah,
like,
but Brad Pitt also said, like, how sick of it is it for men to try to make themselves look like, what was it, Tommy Hilfiger? Do I have the names right? And Calvin Klein.
Yeah. The male models.
Yeah.
Which, I
guess he's the iconic male rebel.
Yeah. But he's also, like, very conventionally attractive and very known for being incredibly attractive.
Yeah. Every mom loves Brad Pitt.
Yeah. And except for his wife, probably.
Okay.
He abuses children or something. I actually
Does
don't.
he?
There's something there, and I forgot what it was.
I don't think Brad.
I don't follow actors.
On this episode, we make the accusation.
This is libel. We're accusing him.
After starring in Fight Club, he decided to make his family.
We watched him beat adults. Who's to say?
It's the wildest connection. He beats adults, therefore he beats kids.
I'm just saying. Anyway, so themes, acting, cinematography.
Orange juice and gasoline.
Orange juice and gasoline.
It makes napalm. We'll try that. Next episode, we're
making napalm.
We're making napalm. No, what do you think about the cinematography, Mr. Film Major?
It was good. It had a lot of 90s,
Yeah.
90-isms to it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
I mean,
Like,
it was very 90s looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Being made in the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
being-
Like I said, The Matrix,
Yeah.
a lot of that, like,
The color
I
grading.
think they came out the same year,
Yeah.
but a lot of the color grading.
The color grading. There's some shot. Yeah, there were some shots too that just felt very 90s.
Like the quick pans, like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff that was going on.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm trying to, there was that one. That was that one shot where the camera's on the ground in the underground venue, and then the camera goes upside down.
Oh
and
yeah.
then walking up
but
the
that
stairs.
was like a first person of Jared Leto's character.
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Jared Leto.
Yeah. He was.
He was in
that
this
movie.
He was in the movie.
Unfortunately, he was pretty good.
He was
the guy
fine.
there,
He was
the
fine.
guy beat the shit out of him.
That was a pretty fun scene. Also, he was blonde. That's why I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
Jared Leto.
I
for
didn't
such a
realize
long
it was
time.
Jared Leto until we
Yeah.
all did like a point and go. We did the Leonardo DiCaprio and Once
Yeah,
Upon
we
a Time with the. And he like points at the screen.
Yeah,
Um,
and he wasn't the Joker-esque character in this movie.
No, he wasn't.
Mm.
Thank God, because he didn't play a very good one. Am I right? I didn't
This
see the
one.
movie.
Yeah,
You haven't
same.
seen
I've just
Suicide
heard
Squad?
it was bad.
Good
That
one.
is going to be one we watch and break down.
Do we need to?
100%.
Okay.
That needs a whole like analytical frame by frame
We're gonna
analysis.
write out the whole script to ours on.
What do you think the writers meant when they said that he had the word damaged tattooed on his forehead?
Probably that he was damaged in the head.
Ooh, that'd make good mise en scène.
Okay.
Anywho,
So we've got what? Themes, acting, cinematography.
oh, that score by the Dust Brothers.
I didn't think about it at all.
Like
I
that
can't
felt
lie.
90s.
Probably. There were definitely moments, actually,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, where it was
Yeah.
very nice. Because it wasn't... There were a lot of... it wasn't like an orchestral score or anything. I heard a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, like... Almost, like, pseudo-reggae instrumentation, I want to say.
I didn't quite pay attention to it.
There's... I mean, it was just, like... There's, like, guitar, piano, drums, more so.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't... strings.
Oh, it looks like they're mostly only known for Fight Club.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I am Jack's smirking revenge or whatever that.
There was...
What was the point of that?
I am Jack's movie reviewer.
What was the... There was one line
Oh.
with the Jax thing.
Yeah.
Like... Something unsurprised that I really liked.
Smirk.
No.
Not smirk.
When he was talking to the
Wait,
boss.
Which that was a fun scene where he's just
Oh
beating
yeah, where he
himself in
beats
the
himself,
box.
and then he's like, "This reminds me of my first
It was
fight
the
with
Smirking
Tyler," and it's
Revenge
like,
when he was beating
obviously.
the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Well, no, complete lack of surprise. I'm Jack's complete lack of surprise when he was
Yeah.
talking to his boss, and then
Oh,
he beats
yeah.
the shit out of himself, and he was like, "For some reason, this reminds me of my first fight with Tyler," and I'm like, "That's a little too on the nose, Mr. Movie."
Yeah. But maybe, I mean, if you gave this movie to somebody who didn't
No,
know the twist,
Yeah.
that'd probably,
they'd be like,
That
"Oh,
would- yeah.
it's like when he fought someone." I don't know, but
yeah.
there are definitely a lot of hints.
Yeah. I bet you if we rewatch it, there'll be even more
Yeah.
really, like, close detailed.
Yeah, but I mean, when it was like they were never in the same room together, and then he plays it off. They play it off as like the divorced parent thing
Maybe.
when
yeah.
they're, which I mean, children of divorce. You and I, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have that sensation of passing messages between the parents? Because that kind of hit home for me a little bit, but
A little bit, but it was not in the same house.
well, yeah,
Right,
that's
for
kind of
housing,
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, my parents would never talk to each other ever.
I mean, my parents had pretty good communication,
Yeah, yours
but
are
there would
chill.
be things that would like just not get communicated.
Yeah. Not to delve too deep into our personal lives, but it was there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was just something.
Also, when he was like, all like, telling her to leave and stuff after she had sex with Tyler, and she was like confused or like
Yeah,
it was
confused.
it was hinted that like she
Yeah. Which I guess on a first watch, if you didn't know anything, could be played off as she's the crazy one.
Yeah, I have a theory that if you took this, maybe this might work. If you took this movie and cut out every single scene with Brad Pitt in it, it will work. If you get what I'm saying, if you knew the story, like the beats will all still hit.
That's interesting.
Like, do you think you know what I mean? Because there's that scene, like you said, the first night that Marla sleeps with Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
and then that conversation that happens the next morning with him and with her and Edward,
Yeah.
that conversation still reads. Because he's like...
Well, what they do is the first time you see them having sex, the man's face is blurred out.
Oh, yeah.
And that was something I was noticing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like that weird CGI.
It was uncomfortable, but...
Yeah. Or like that weird trash bin sequence where it's like it's kind of coming out. Which I guess that's also a thing of consumerism.
I don't remember.
That's in The Office, like at the beginning.
The trash bin sequence?
Where they have like the camera in the trash bin and then it kind of comes out of it.
I don't remember
To the
that.
viewers listening, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, to the viewers.
The listeners.
Yeah. Any other major points? Any important things to consider when thinking about a film that we've missed? Or
I gotta say, that needle drop at the end. It's pretty sick.
yeah, it was, and I was just like, "Oh, that's a TikTok song. I've
Yeah.
heard that before."
Yeah. It happens. It kind of... Whereas the song has that kind of like build-up momentum into it, it threw it on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's perfect for a thing like that, which is why it got used a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, the film had a lot of, like I said, that 90s isms. Like the one part where it's like Brad is looking at the camera telling him like that direct monologue to the audience. And you see everything starts to shake and you see the film strip shaking on both sides of the camera.
That's the night job playing into that as like the sort of like a meta use of the medium with the night job of the film thing specifically and using that visually.
So when we're introduced to Tyler Durden, one of his night jobs is being the projectionist at a cinema.
Yeah.
Is that implied that Edward Norton took that job?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because when they're talking about the like actual reveal and they're going back and forth in like the hotel room or whatever, it was like you take those night jobs because you had insomnia. And the idea is like when he thinks he's going to sleep, it's actually just another side of him being presented as Brad Pitt or whatever. But oh, there was something on that I wanted to mention.
So he peed in all the soup?
Yeah. He was jacking off in the mushroom or whatever.
So in this context, Edward Norton single-handedly started a revolution across America.
Yes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Because he just like was just beating himself up in a parking lot alone. Two guys were like, "Hey, get a load of this guy." And then they were like, "What's he doing?
Check this out."
Yeah.
Hey man, can we punch you too?
Yeah.
Like, go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Definitely some things on masculinity.
Was it the ice?
That was the ice, yeah.
The ice.
Definitely things on masculinity too that are there that I don't know.
I really like the plot device of him going to every, like, because he's just so detached that he just starts going to all these, like anonymous groups.
Oh,
at the beginning. That's, like, I thought it was just really, like, it was cool. It was a clever plot device. I thought that was cool. It was unique.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree. I don't have anything to say though.
Meatloaf's in this movie.
Meatloaf is in this. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
His name is Robert Paulson.
In the movie.
What do you think that's supposed to mean?
I think that's them reading into his
the only man to die from this.
Yeah, no, but it's like when Edward Norton's like, this man's name is Robert Paulson, and then they take that as like a whole philosophical thing, and they're really reading into this idea of like that what this leader is saying really means something all the time. And it's like it's not like it's kind of, I guess, that he's not consciously aware of this philosophy that he's been spitting out, and like what he meant to say or what is meant by what he's saying isn't. I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought.
Just rambling, yapping. Yapping the night away. It is. We're approaching 3:40 a.m.
Yeah,
I want to go to sleep.
You want to go to sleep?
I'm getting a little sleepy.
Okay, should we wrap this up?
Think so. Any final thoughts before we drop our ratings? I'm trying to think of anything.
Yeah.
So in a sense, they're saying, with Fight Club, it's a way to get out your feelings. This is just physically. Yeah, they release all your pent up anger and tension on another.
I mean, there's a lot of talk about men's mental health and how they don't really have an outlet for.
Was one of the rules
feelings.
of Fight Club no woman allowed?
Yes. Well, when when Edward Norton says to Marla, he's like, it's for men only. So I don't know if they say specifically, but it's definitely
I don't
implied.
think Fight Club passes the Bechdel test. You know.
Yeah, but like,
He's just shrugging off.
so what? I prefer men.
So you don't support feminism?
They can do their own thing.
When's Feminism Club coming out?
Yeah, we're gonna have an all female remake of Fight Club.
Dude, that would go so hard.
That would be awesome.
But I think the cutting off the balls and the testicular cancer, there is definitely a lot of talk about or themes relating to masculinity and
what identifies you as like.
what identifies you as a man. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's the fighting as a way to kind of get your emotions out. Is
And
because
that in of itself is, would you say toxic?
yeah,
Well, there's
for
also
sure.
you can, what is it, like, what's the right term? Like boxing, like with a punching bag. Like that's a more healthy way to do it, but like,
well, it's healthy because it's not hurting other
Yeah.
people.
but in this sense, but they're also supportive of each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, until Edward Norton goes over the edge and
yeah, almost kills
gives
Jared
Jared
Leto.
Leto what he deserves. I'm just kidding. Oh,
Yeah, he deserves more. He deserves to die.
I'm not going that far.
I will.
Okay. Have you listened to his band 30 Seconds to Mars?
I don't care.
I don't think anybody has.
Maybe for 30 seconds.
What?
You listen for 30 seconds and you're like, turn that shit off.
Yeah, that's why it's called the band. That's why it's
Yeah.
called that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, ratings? Should we do ratings?
All right. Jacob?
I'm going to go
I
with
shouldn't be touching this microphone.
it.
Is it disconnected?
Oh, no, it's. Well, it might just be picked up through there. I don't think it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Well, if anything, we'll just edit that out. But
No, the only microphone input is this one, so. Yeah, I'm going to go with 4 stars right now. That's what I'm feeling.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Ian?
I'm gonna go with 4.5.
Then I is the other Ian. I think I'm going to go with 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
It has, for me, it has the possibility of growing
Yeah.
and or shrinking. It might.
Yeah, my
might.
thoughts certainly could change in the future.
Yeah, they certainly would. But right now I'm sitting on a 4.
Yeah. And since he's the film major and I agreed with him, that means we're right and you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that means they have to cut off my balls.
yep,
And now there's
That's
gonna
the
be-
rule of Film Club. Also,
we're going to
Yep.
cut off your balls.
And now there's an open position available, so applicants can apply for a new position of being the third member at Film Club.
Yep.
but you might get your balls cut off.
Yeah, you have to sign a waiver.
Because whoever agrees with the film major is right.
Well,
Unless 2 of us disagree with the film major.
so it's kind of a majority rules.
How many votes does he get because he's
I'm
the
just
film
one.
major?
It's
I
one
think
out
it'd
of
be.
3.
Well, if you got.
Well, if it's 33, 33, 33, then I'm 34, 33, 33. Doesn't that make...
That's up to 100.
How would it up to him? Because if you do 100 divided by 3...
He's the 34.
He's rule 34.
Can we search up Rule 34?
Yeah, look up
Tyler
fight.
Durden after
Look up
this.
look up Fight Club rule 34.
All right, so...
All right, so we're gonna go watch Fight Club porn now. We'll catch you on the next episode. I'm so tired. Please let me go
Alright,
home.
so this was the first episode of Film Club.
Film Club with Jacob, Ian, and Ian.
There are 3 of us.
Yeah.
Ian's like his Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
No, we are. Which one of us is the real Ian?
You two are
We're
real
both
Ian.
his Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
We're not real. We're all in your head right now.
Right now, Jacob's mom's
The
gonna
wall's like his ground.
Dude, right now, Jacob's mom's gonna walk up to him, just sitting at the dining room table alone, just talking to himself.
Yeah. Hopefully she's not too angry, but you know, she doesn't have work tomorrow.
So when
Today.
do we think the next episode's gonna drop?
Whenever we watch another
Next
movie.
Yeah, we probably have to watch another movie.
All right. Well, until then.
Yeah, follow us on Letterboxd.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is though.
Yeah, you guys have to do research.
You can figure it out. I mean,
Yeah. All right.
All right.
all right.
Night night.
Farewell.
Yeah. Good night.